Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Spyder Sense Riding. My name is DJ. I'm the three-wheel Can-Am specialist here at MotoMember Select, and today I'm going to take you guys through a quick checklist on how to winterize your Can-Am Spyder, or just more in general, how to store your bike for a long period of time. It's getting cold outside here in Northern Virginia. There was snow when I woke up this morning, and so storing our bike, because a lot of us could be just like me, fair weather riders, or just things pop up in our life where we can't ride for a long period of time. So storing our bike away the proper way is going to be good to go and help out with the longevity of your Spyder. Everything that I'm going to be going over is coming directly out of Can-Am's manual, but of course I would just recommend that you read that for a little bit more details. But these are going to be the highlighted points that are super important to maintain the lifespan of your bike, especially when you're going to be storing it for 2, 3, 4, 5, or even longer months of the year. So the very first thing that you want to do is go ahead and take out or replace the engine oil and then the engine filter. We may have racked up a lot of miles during the other seasons of the year, and we don't want to put our bike away with some dirty oil in the filter. So replacing the engine oil and the filter is going to be highly recommended and key. The second thing is going to be just checking your brake, your coolant, and your clutch levels inside the bike. If those are minimum, just go ahead and top those off. But checking coolant, brake, and clutch fluid levels is going to be important as well. The third thing, which is super important, it goes over a lot of people's head, and that's going to be fuel treatment. So filling up your gas tank with some good gas in there. If you have a preference, or if it's possible, using some ethanol-free gasoline, and then adding some fuel stabilizer in there. We want to prevent any oxidization, any humidity inside the gas tank, which, if you didn't know, oxidization is rust. We don't want rust to be inside of our gas tank. And a lot of us don't even think about something like this. But again, when we have a surprise of why my engine is running funny, why is my bike sounding weird, when I turn it on, when I am trying to ride in those next couple of months down the road, it could be just due to what's in that gas tank and what did you do before you winterized or stored your bike. So fuel treatment is going to be super important. So just filling up your gas tank with some good gas and then adding some fuel stabilizer in there. And of course, I would just have you go off the recommendation of what the fuel stabilizer mix should be, because again, you don't want to fill it all the way up to the brim. Then you put fuel stabilizer in there and it's pouring over the edges. It probably didn't do a thing. So make sure you go off the correct amount that you should be mixing the gasoline with the fuel stabilizer. The fourth thing is going to be just inflate your tires to the correct or the recommended PSIs. During this time of the year when it gets cold, PSIs tend to drop. So just filling up the tires with the recommended PSIs is going to be super important. And then also, to prevent any flat spots on the bike, you can also invest in what is called tire savers. There are small mats that go under each tire that helps keep the shape of the tire or keep them round. We don't want any flat spots. And if you don't have any opportunity to get a tire saver or something of that sort, just on occasion, go to the bike and roll it. Roll it maybe about 2 feet or 3 feet, or however many feet that you need to move it. And again, we're just trying to prevent flat spots in the tire. The fifth thing that you want to do is go ahead and clean the bike. Something that you just want to take care of. Get the dirt off, get the grime, get the dust, get all that nasty stuff off the bike, and just clean it up before you put it away. Something that my mom told me growing up was anytime that we go on vacation or go away from the house for a long time, clean your room. And it used to hit me. I'm like, why do I need to clean the room when nobody's going to be here? And simply just told me that when you come back, come back to a clean home. Come back to the carpets clean, come back to clean bed sheets, clean pillows, your clothes are off the floor. Just come back to a nice house. Same thing that comes down to the Spyders. When it's time to ride again and you take your cover off or wherever you have it, it's a super clean bike and it's good to go. After that, just go ahead and try to store it in a dry spot like a garage or a storage unit. I know a lot of us don't have access to these things and they have to keep it outside, which is okay, but having the ability to keep it away in a dry area, where there's not a lot of temperature fluctuations on a daily basis, is going to be good. So if you have the ability, get yourself a storage unit or have somebody, allow them to let them use your garage, or get them to allow you to use their garage. If they're a friend, they'll do it. If not, I can't help you on that one. But if you can't have it in a storage facility or a garage, just get yourself a cover, and that's going to be number 7 right there. So get yourself a nice breathable cover. Can-Am does offer some great covers on the inside. It's actually lined with a nice fabric, something similar to that of a microfiber cloth towel. So that way, if it rubs for whatever reason, it's not damaging the paint, whether it's matte finish or it's the metallic finish. So get yourself a nice breathable cover. The eighth thing that I can say is just close all your storage compartments and then cover up any exposed holes. Like for example, inside your muffler, take a towel, a clean towel, and plug up the holes or any vents that are exposed. And like I said, close the storage compartments because we don't want any animals, any rodents, any mice, rats, or anything like that making your Spyder a home. And then once they get in there, who knows what it could happen. They can chew up a lot of the wirings and stuff like that, or just make babies inside your Spyder. We don't want that at all. So plugging up any holes is going to be just a nice added recommendation, or something that is, I'm not going to say super important, but it can be important, especially depending on where you live or the area that you're at. And the last thing that we would recommend here at MotoMember, and definitely Can-Am, is going to be getting a battery tender to maintain that battery charge. Here at MotoMember Select, we do, as a courtesy, offer a battery tender lead, which is just a little pigtail that's connected directly to the battery. And if you get yourself a battery tender, you just connect the pigtail to each other, and that way the bike maintains the charge however long it needs to be in storage. But these are just 9 quick things that you should always be considering when it comes down to winterizing or storing your bike away for a long period of time. Again, everything that I went off of is actually coming directly out of Can-Am's manual. So I would definitely say just check the manual out. That makes you're following all these step by step. But hopefully this video makes it a little bit easier. But just how to winterize your bike, how to store it, especially if you don't have means of riding it. If it's cold outside and you're not going to be riding it until spring when it warms up. Just go off the checklist, make sure you're doing everything right, and make sure the bike is good and golden by the time you get out of there on the road the next time around. But hopefully this video helped, guys. If you guys have any questions, like I always say, please leave a comment. I do respond to every single comment to the best of my ability. And I'm so close to 1,000 subscribers. So if you guys can help smash that subscribe button, share it with a buddy who could use this information. And then thank you guys for watching. Okay, I'll see you next time.